Hi, and welcome to Rebellious Sacred Heart. My name is Christina, and today I have a very special guest, Mary Electra. She is a tonal alchemist, and she does healing and balancing and brings clarity through the beautiful sound of her voice. And so, welcome, Mary. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I love doing this.
Yes, this is our second podcast, and it's been way too long. But,
Yes.
now that I think I'm getting things going on my own stuff, we can do this a bit more often.
So I would so much love that. I would love that.
Yeah, well, we will. For those listeners who have not yet watched our other one, and it was a bit long, we're going to try and keep this a little shorter. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you found yourself on this sound healing journey?
It's a very long story, and I don't know how to make it real short. I
What? Maybe after
used
the
to,
message. Go
what
ahead.
excuse me?
Go ahead.
I did some workshops with a gentleman named Tom Kenyon. And Tom Kenyon is a sound healer, and he pretty much awakened me to my sound. And after we went to Hawaii on a retreat there with Tom, my throat was reconfigured by star beings, by beings from other dimensions to bring through a very special sound that I bring through. And then when I was in Egypt, I was downloaded with these frequencies that are not from this dimension. And that's how I started my sound career.
Okay. And there's a lot in the King's Chamber with the
Yeah.
pyramids in Giza. So would you say
Yes.
that maybe you could tell us just a little bit more about that experience? Because if I'm not mistaken, that was kind of a pivotal moment for you. It was a very special moment.
Well,
They're all
yes.
special, but
Yeah. How do you decide? I knew when I was in Hawaii that the beings were doing something special. I didn't exactly know what, but right after I went to Hawaii, I started toning with a crystal bowl, and the frequencies were really amazing. And then I had this opportunity to go to Egypt, and I knew I had to go because I was at a conference and these psychics came to me. They came to me and said, "We have a message for you, and you're going to be receiving a gift on your next trip," which was in 2 days. I was leaving for Egypt in 2 days. So that would be my next trip. So when I got to the King's Chamber, someone took some pictures of me because we were doing a ceremony, and I was using my crystal ball inside the King's Chamber. And someone took a picture, and I was told I was going to receive my gift when I went there. And nothing happened, I thought, until I got this picture. And the picture is me inside the King's Chamber with an orb the size of a basketball on top of my crown. And you can see when you really look at the picture that energy is pouring into my crown chakra. So that is when Spirit downloaded these very special frequencies that had never been in this dimension, that I agreed at some point in time to bring through to this dimension. Does that make sense?
yes, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. So, but it might not make sense to everyone. And that's the point of this, is just to, kind of explore it a little bit more. So when you say downloads, how would you explain that to maybe to a list? Like, what do you mean by
Well,
download? Do you feel anything? Is there?
no, I didn't feel anything, but when I saw the picture, I knew that that was the gift I was being given, that I was told I was meant to go to Egypt for. And I booked the trip knowing that Spirit had something special for me in Egypt. And so my throat had already been prepared to bring the frequencies through in Hawaii. And all of this I became aware of all of this after the fact. Before the fact, I didn't really know. I had been told many years before that I was here to touch thousands of people. And my sound, I believe my sound is part of as part of the journey, the gift I have in this journey to bring to people. And my understanding of the sound is that it opens the portals to your higher dimensional self. Because people are kind of asleep, have been asleep, and they're not really conscious of their connection to source.
Agreed.
And once you become connected to source or aware of your connection to source, then possibilities open to you because there's unlimited potential when you connect and are aware of your connection to the divine source. Because the divine source is all things, all knowing, all wisdom, all creative. So it's omnipotent, the energy of source. So we have that energy available to us to use for our well-being in this dimension and all dimensions, to be honest.
So,
And when I say download, it's like a computer. You know, when you put a disk in or you download a program, right?
mhm.
That's downloading. And that's what they did. They downloaded a program into my cellular being, and those frequencies are available to me because they were downloaded when I was in the King's Chamber. And I think on my website, and I don't remember, I think on my website there is a picture of me in the King's Chamber with that ball of energy on top of my crown.
I know that I've
I have,
seen it and it's very,
yeah,
very cool. Like you can
right,
definitely tell there was major energy, like it's visible in the
right.
picture. And
That's right.
that's really cool. So I
Yes,
remember you saying that you started with sound bowls but from my experience now with you, with your sound healing the way it is currently, you use your voice, which it is an amazing experience, honestly, because every time that I've experienced your voice through sound, the healing, I can feel it physically and
yes.
just in every part. So how did you go from, or did you just know when you went from the bowls to your voice?
I still sometimes use the bowls,
Hmm.
just to be honest, when I do things. But my voice is like a bowl. So I only use the crystal bowl because Tom Kenyon, who was my mentor, used crystal bowls in his work. When he did his workshops in sound, he had like 7 bowls, all for different chakras, and he would play all of the bowls. So that's how I became familiar with the sound healing. But when I started toning, I could use the bowls, and I still can tone with bowls, and it's like my voice and the bowls become one. But it impedes me somehow because if I just let my voice go without thinking about playing the bowl,
Right.
my voice goes where it's meant to go. The frequencies just come through just so naturally that I just stop. I really don't use the bowl that much unless I'm with groups or I'm in a group and we're doing it and somebody's playing the bowl. I'll tone with the bowl, but I don't use the bowl that much anymore. So I started out because that's how I thought I was supposed to. It's like Tom did it, so I shouldn't. But the bowl just is. It kind of gets in the way for me.
I can
Although
see that.
the bowls are magic, though. By the way, if you guys ever go out, buy a bowl and tone, they're different. They're connected to different. What do they call the notes? Musical notes. So, like my bowl that I use is an F sharp, and my voice tones in F sharp. So if I'm doing a CD or anything like that, we key the instruments to connect with the F sharp frequency.
So, would you compare the tones of your voice similar to like the solfeggio type frequencies or something entirely different?
I think my sounds are not of this world, so I don't think science would understand them. And I don't think science could even measure them because they are frequencies from another dimension. And as I said, my throat had to be reconfigured, and that was done in Hawaii so I could bring the frequencies through. My throat wouldn't have been able to bring the frequencies through as it was.
Did you
So the work they
go ahead?
go ahead. Well, it's just I wouldn't have been able to do it. My throat chakra had to be reconfigured. Otherwise, it probably would have shattered me to try to bring the frequencies through once they were downloaded. I know that sounds pretty extreme, but these frequencies were not in this dimension prior to when I started toning them.
There,
And that's a very big statement. And there might be other people toning those frequencies now, I don't know. But I do know that they brought them through me and downloaded them and prepared me to bring them through. And frequencies had not been brought into this dimension prior to that.
do you know what dimension that they're from? Because I've heard that, like the era or Atlantis and Thoth, and like there was energy, frequency, and vibration was a big part of some of the teachings in the Emerald tablets. And again, Tesla, that leads me to Tesla, is like, I feel like he knew he knew a lot of things that we
Oh,
never got
Tesla,
to
yeah.
experience. But since that, like, do you feel a connection to Atlantis with the sound healing at all?
Actually,
Or that type of what?
Lemire,
Lemuria? Yes. I've heard that an Arcturian was big on sound too.
well, Tom used to channel the Hathors, and in Egypt there were the goddess Hathor,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
Hathors are from the fourth dimension of Venus, and they're very tall, light beings, and they bring in joy, love, and sound. So he channeled them. I know that it was the Palladians who reconfigured my throat when I was in Hawaii. It was that was the Palladians, and I believe in all dimensions, sound is a prominent energy force. So I don't know if it's necessary to determine where it's coming
No.
from, to know that it's coming from divine source
Right.
and from another dimensional reality, because we need to unlock. See, the density of Earth, uh, it's gotten lighter as I'm like 74 now, and as I've grown, the energy of Earth has gotten lighter, but it was very dense in the 50s.
Mhm.
Very dense. It's been, the energy on Earth has been very dense, and it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And as it gets lighter, more frequencies can come through. So one of the reasons I was giving these frequencies in my understanding is because there were portals of energy that needed to be unlocked. So the first year that I was doing sound, I went all over. I toned with Gaia. I went to a lot of sacred sites and worked with Gaia, and Gaia was working with me to help me bring through these frequencies. But while I was doing them, I know that I was unlocking portals in these sacred sites that held frequencies and vibrations that the earth needed at this time. I
Do you,
don't talk very much about that because it just seems so outlandish, but the truth is that this is what spirit gave to me, and I followed my guidance, and I did a lot of toning, and I went around the United States doing sound in areas to do healing with Gaia and the earth. And so the first couple of years I worked doing sound for this dimension and helping to heal and open frequencies for people to have available to them in this dimension.
I would think that, and let me know if you agree, that the frequency and vibration and energy, obviously, those are the most important thing. And with your sound and with it raising the vibration, as you said, making it light, do you feel that that has contributed to the rest of us? We're coming into an era where I feel like more people are waking up, so to speak, and
Yes.
becoming more curious about the gifts that we all have within us. It's just that maybe our specialty or what we're meant to share the most of could be something like you in your case with the tonal healing and things like that. But do you think that's why we're kind of starting to shift a little bit?
Well, sound has been
Forever.
becoming a very predominant
Mm.
thing. People are opening up to sound. When I started doing this in 1997, when I started doing this thing, is that 30 years ago maybe? Um,
Not quite.
People
Mm.
thought it was funny. They laughed. Sound was, even though sound has been here, sound is ancient. Sound is the beginning. Sound
Mhm.
creates, it destroys, it heals. Frequencies are everything. Let me just say one thing here. I've got to find this again. Uh, Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
I can only
So,
see your forehead, by the way.
oh, I'm sorry, because I'm
That's
reading
okay.
from my, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm reading from my computer. And so,
Fine.
and then Nikola Tesla was a master of resonance. Okay,
Right.
the vibrational properties of the solid, liquid, and gaseous substances of matter. He understood how physical vibration of the body could be used as a medicine to treat the human condition. Every cell in your body has a frequency, and if that frequency is out of balance, you're out of balance. So if you can bring balance to your being through frequency, then that's magic. And that's really what the sound does. All sound does that. The sound I do has a little bit more of a punch to it because it opens, like you have 64 strands of DNA. Now, you only operate with 18 of them. And that's because
What?
there are forces. Yeah, you don't operate. There are forces that blocked your DNA strands. And those strands are the strands of energy that connect you to your higher self. So the sound that I do actually activates those DNA strands if you choose. It really, everything, you have to be in agreement because the spirit gave everyone choice. But it activates those DNA strands. That's what opens you to your portals of your higher self. That's what opens you to your connection to knowing and God, is because those strands are awakened and active and you can use them. That's that's my understanding of the frequencies that come through me were designed to help open the portals to your higher dimensional self.
Okay.
They
So
also, there's a lot of healing that comes through the sound as well. And
that's what I was going to say. So even for people that may not resonate or believe yet about other dimensions and things of that nature. And so for someone who is still, maybe they don't even know that they're on this journey. Like, so I believe, and tell us more if your sound can help someone that isn't quite in the state of maybe knowing or higher awareness yet, but like healing traumas and emotional traumas, anxiety. I know you can balance, but like, what if somebody doesn't really understand about chakras? Like, how would you explain how the healing could help them in that?
well, it's not about explaining anything, it just
That's
is.
true. I
Do
mean,
you
I
know what I
guess
mean? There's no explanation of it. If you're drawn to the sound, that means that somewhere inside of you, you have connected to something that is searching for something. And you are, when you're drawn to me or drawn to the sound or anyone's sound or drawn to anything, it's because there's something within your spiritual self that knows you need something now. You need some better connection than what you presently have. You know on a in an internal knowing. It has nothing to do with you consciously know it,
Yeah.
because I don't think most people consciously know.
That was probably a
I
dumb
mean,
question the way I
some
put it.
people do. Huh?
I said it was
Some
probably a
people
dumb
do.
question the way I put it, but I
No, it
maybe
wasn't.
maybe
No,
what
it
I meant
wasn't.
like is like what if someone needed or was looking for physical healing? Is do you feel that the sound could contribute in physical healing or of any in
Yes.
any way?
The thing is I just want you to know that that wasn't a dumb question at all. It was a very good
I,
question.
I was
But
just making fun of
but
myself. Like I don't care.
um, but the thing is I have a website. It's called Sound Healing Electra. When you go to that website, it scrolls these testimonials from people I've worked with, and many people have had physical healing from the sound work that I do. And I also did massage for many years. When you take the massage and the sound and put them together, it's really very magical. Like if I was working on somebody's body and they had a place where it wouldn't open and release, I could tone into it and it would just melt and open and release it. It was really cool. But people have had some, I mean, I can tell you about one or two magical things that have happened during my
Love
healing
that.
work.
Yes.
Okay,
Love
I
that.
had a client who found out that she had endometriosis, and she also was predisposed to cancer because her family had I can't remember if it was uterine cancer or ovarian cancer, but her aunt and grandmother had passed from the cancers, so she was predisposed to have cancer. So when they found the endometriosis, they decided that they were going to do a full hysterectomy, and that would prevent the cancer, and also would deal with the endometriosis. So she asked me to come over to her house the night before she went into surgery, and she asked me to tone into her uteral area, and so I did. And she went to the hospital the next day. They did X-rays before the surgery, and the endometriosis was gone. No more tumors. And that happened to two different people I worked with who were
Just
both
in the one
scheduled to,
healing, just in one set, like you just did it the
yeah,
night before, and then the next day
e-
they were gone.
there were no tumors. And
Dude, high five! Like that's awesome. Like wow,
well, she still had to have a
that's a
partial
testimonial if
hysterectomy.
there ever was one.
Yeah, she did. And then there was a woman that came to I do conferences and did chair massage at many conferences all over the world, actually. And a woman came, and it was a Crystal Skull conference in Sedona that I met her. And so she sat down, and she got called to sit down with me and have a massage. And it so happened that the lecture was over and I was able to do a sound healing as well as the massage for her. Because when the lectures are on, I can only do massage. So it was just perfect that she came when she came, and I was able to do not only the massage but a sound healing. Unbeknownst to me, and I found this out 9 years later when I met them at another conference I was doing a chair massage at, she had been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she had a tumor on her sternum the size of a fist. And she decided, I'm not going to deal with this now. I'm going to go to the conference and I'll deal with it later. And then she was called to have a session with me. When she finished the session, she told her sister, who did MRIs for people,
Mhm.
and told her sister that she thought something had changed, that something had happened. So when they got back home, because they live in Oklahoma, when they got back to Oklahoma, they gave her an MRI, and her tumor was the size of a quarter. And she's perfectly healthy now. And this was years and years and years ago. And I still talk to her and or connect with her. And the last time I saw her, she was glowing. And
That's awesome.
she was the cancer, they say, is in remission, but I think it was gone. So that's another story.
Isn't there
There was a
something else
woman.
about a cat? Like I
Oh,
think I
yes.
saw something on your
Yes.
website
Yes.
about
Yes.
you healing
Yes.
somebody's little kitty.
Yes. I worked with this woman had chronic back pain and she
I'm
couldn't get
sorry.
rid of it. So she started seeing me, and I was the only person. Her chronic pain left. She no longer had it, which that's what I asked her to give me a testimonial about.
Hmm.
But her kitty used to come and sit on her chest when I was doing the sound. So
Oh.
then, and her kitty was her family, as animals are so often.
Hmm.
And she took the kitty to the doctor because it was not well, and found out that it had an inoperable tumor in the lungs and it was cancer. And the vet said, I don't think your cat will live longer than 6 months. I don't give it more than 6 months. Well, that devastated her. And the next time I went to do a session for her, she said, "Can you work on my cat?" And I said, "Sure, of course I can." And so I held my hand on the cat and toned it while she was holding the cat because they don't sit still very well. And we toned the cat, and I held my hand underneath. I don't know where the lungs on a cat are, but I held my hand on the cat. Anyway, she went to the vet, and the tumor was gone, and the cat lived, I know, for another 5 years. So,
That is just so
it,
beautiful.
yeah.
It's easy for me to resonate with your stories and know that they are true because like this is something that's really hard to explain to someone who hasn't experienced it for themselves. Even with sound bowls, like I personally, I don't have an experience personally of that, so I can't speak to that. I've had Mary's sound healing before personally by myself, and I've also experienced her during her group meditations. And my whole body just vibrates, and I feel at peace and I feel joy by the time you're done. Like it's just an amazing experience. And I don't know what's going on in there, but I know it's something good. Like I know it's something good. That's all I can say for sure, but it's just an amazing experience.
Well, thank you. I can only tell you that the sound will not hurt you. There's nothing that can hurt you with the sound. And the other thing I can tell you is that you are in charge. Everything is done for your highest and best interest. So if your highest and best interest is to have the cancer that you have, the sound will only support you in the journey of that. Okay. It won't interfere with what your higher purpose is.
Right. I
I,
see what you're saying.
okay. So, because I don't know what your higher purpose is.
Right. We
So
don't know what
spirit
our
does.
higher purpose is sometimes.
So yes. And so when I'm working,
Okay.
I say a prayer, and I'll tell you the prayer. It's like I ask that my guides and everyone else's guides connect directly to Source, and I ask that whatever frequencies come through me for their highest and best interest. And I ask this for the highest good of all and according to the free will of all, and so it is. So every time I work with somebody, every time I do a reading, because I do tarot readings as well, and I know my readings are very spiritual and they help. They're very
Mhm.
guiding. And I do the readings and then I do a sound to support that reading and to support that person in that journey. And I always realize and know that whatever I'm doing is in the highest and best interest for the person. There'll be nothing can, I'm not there to, I'm only there as a vehicle, a vessel to bring the energy through.
Right.
And the and I'm here to support every person's journey, their journey, not my journey,
Right.
their journey. And I know that the sound does that. And I know if you are wanting to awaken and become more connected to your spiritual self and your wisdom and your knowing and your creativity, I know that if that's what you want, that sound will support you in that. The sound I do will support you in that. So I'm very honored by any person that comes to me to do their sound. And not everybody's ready for it. I have to say that because I should be so busy if everybody were ready, but it's just not that. It's not that way. But I do want to remember before it's too late to share with everybody. I do a monthly group sound meditation, and I am inviting anybody out there hearing this to please come. Go to my website. You sign up for it there, and it's coming on the 22nd. I'm doing my next sound healing on the 22nd,
So
which
this
is this
Saturday.
coming Saturday. It's at 10 a.m. on Pacific Standard Time. And you go on and you sign up, and it does cost $8.88. So there is a small charge to that. And I send you the code and the phone number to get into the conference call. And it's a conference call because Zoom distorts my sound. And everything I've tried to do so far, I can't do it for groups. So this, I do a conference call, and it's only on the phone, but I think it's good. You've been to them. I hope you
Oh,
come
yes. Oh, yes.
Saturdays.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt it. So I would invite everybody to try it at least one time. It's an amazing thing. And I think when you add more people, when you have more energy within the group,
Hmm.
like that just enhances the
Right.
the healing itself within
Yes.
everyone, not just us, but to me, the
The
earth, like
world.
the world. Yeah.
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 Because
So,
it's a group. It's group intention. So
yeah.
when you have a group of people with intention, that intention becomes very strong.
Yeah.
So the sound I do is very powerful, but when it's backed by other people with the same intention, boy, howdy, magic happens. I mean, we've been doing some work. I've been doing some work with people for when the hurricanes came, the fires in LA, the election that we just recently had. I've been doing a lot of work to help support maintaining an equal state of being for our world.
Mhm.
So anyhow, and when we do this group sound healing, we do a toning for the world, and everybody's intention is very important. So the more people that are there, the more powerful it is. I really welcome you to come. And I would also please encourage you to sign up for my newsletter when you go to my website,
Tell us
because
your
then you'll
website
hear
again.
www.soundhealingelectra.
I will also link it in the description for anybody who's looking for it because I would love to have you guys there. I'm going to be there, but
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I will be there.
Yeah, yeah. I've had one person sign up so far. The nicer it gets out, the more people are out doing other things on Saturday. So I would love you to join us. And I'm just excited to share it with you. And I'm going to be toning in. There's a UFO conference in Burlingame, California, and it's on my newsletter. So that's why it's important to have the newsletter. I will be opening the conference with sound both Saturday and Sunday. And this is April the 4th, 5th, and 6th in the Bay Area, Burlingame, California. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the old people that I used to, because that's where I lived. Most of my adult life was in the Bay Area. So I'm really excited about doing that. So it's
That sounds
exciting.
like fun. The UFO conference in general sounds like fun, something a little different. I mean, I've
Yeah.
never experienced one, but like I even earlier when you were talking about how the Pleiades and the Hathors and all that, I'm like, I want to hang out with you, Mary, because I want to experience all of these entities and
Yeah.
beings and dimensions. Just bring it all in. Let's go.
I used to take people to Mount Shasta, and
I
we
would do
had some
that.
phenomenal experiences. And I would like to do more of those trips, because when we were in Mount Shasta, we had sky watching. And I do sky watching down here in Palm Springs. I take people out to the desert. And not everybody experiences it, but we always have contact, and at least half the group experiences. They see them, they experience them. So it's really cool. It's really fun. So I mean, I've been connecting to star beings for such a long time, and they are just magical. And
I love it when I see something in the sky. I don't even know if it's for sure what it is. Like, there's been plenty of times actually that I've seen some things that I know I know. Wasn't a plane, wasn't anything else. And there's been orbs that have gone by my husband and I at different times, and always at a time that's like 4:44 or something. Like there's
Yeah.
just there's things that like you can't make this shit
Yeah.
up kind of stuff that happens.
No.
I love that. I
It's
love
true.
that. So
It's
that's
true.
really cool.
Well, connect to me on my website and join my newsletter, because anything I do, I will make people aware of, and everybody's invited. And I would love to have you join us. So please
Thank
come.
you. Thank
That's
you.
all I can
And
say.
yes, and thank you, Mary, as always, for spending this time with me and for sharing your gifts and telling us about everything that you do to help us help the world and what is available to us. And so go to her website, check it out. I would love for you guys, come on, sign up for the meditation. It's
Yeah.
$8.88. Like those are good numbers. Let's
Yeah.
do this because honestly, and then I want people to comment on it because I love those. Like I really
Yeah.
felt it last time. Like, so
Yeah.
like this isn't just, it's not your normal meditation, I don't think, in my eyes. When you add Mary's sound to it, the benefits are, I almost don't have words to explain what it is.
Well,
That's
I am
amazing.
hoping that you and I come together maybe once a month to talk to all your people out there and do different things, and maybe have call-ins if that's possible on your system, to have people call in and ask questions. Or so it would be so much fun for me to do that with you.
Well, I would love that, but shit, I can barely figure out how to do this here right now and get us both on. And to be
Listen,
honest, like the listeners
we'll
don't know
just
this, but it was kind of a cluster before we did this recording
yeah,
again, and technology and try like Mary got a new computer and like so yes, I would
yeah,
love to get to that point too where we have call-ins or
yeah.
even just a chat like and answer people's questions, you know, whatever the case is.
Well,
But,
yeah,
you know, that's down the road.
yeah. Well, but I mean, but it's all these possibilities there, because I love talking with you and I love our energy together. And I just think, I really seriously think there's something we can do to benefit the world with our connection and your wonderful show.
Well,
So
thank you.
I'm hoping that we
I just need
connect
to
more.
find someone to help us with the tech part. Like, we'll be there. We can show up, show me how it works. Like
Yeah,
that would be ideal. But yes, we will.
we'll figure it out.
We will. We
But
will.
you will. I'm sure I won't. But I'm going to try to get my sound on my computer working.
She's like, I'm going to show up with my voice. You do the rest, Christina. Let's go.
Yeah. Well,
I'm teasing
I'll
you.
show
I'm
up.
teasing you.
I know. I'm going to show up with lots of ideas.
You know what? I love it. I love it. We will continue these ideas and see what we come up with. I'm so happy to know you, and I enjoy talking to you and seeing you and the energy that we have together. And I'm so happy to collaborate with you every single time we do. And I know it's only been twice on camera, but Mary and I have talked a lot
Yeah.
outside of just the podcast. So I'm happy and honored to call you my friend. And you do have a beautiful gift that needs to be shared with the world.
Yes.
So again, go to her website, sign up for the meditation on Saturday. I would love to see some of my people there, and let's raise the vibration of this place and just bring in that positive energy, those positive vibes, and help
Help the
ourselves and
world.
everybody.
We'll help the world. We'll
Yes.
help the world. Anyway, I think that this is about time for us to sign off,
Yes.
because we don't want to go too long. People will get bored.
So I
We
guess
just want
we're
to
going to say,
entice you for more.
yeah. So thank you all for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this time with Mary and I, and we will see you again soon. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever it is you do, and give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, and we love you all.
Yes. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.